Aloha, everyone. I'm Rick Kirkham of Make My Computer Faster C dot us, one of my more clever URLs. But today I'm going to talk about why you should optimize your computer. And I've already written an article on this, so I'm going to actually go to that article. So, speed up your slow computer. You may not need to buy a new computer. Okay, so obviously, that's contact information. I can help any English speaking people on the mainland USA remotely, and I make house calls here on Oahu. So, why is my computer running so slow? It could be a lot of reasons, but 99% of the time, a slow computer is software related. That means you don't need a new computer. And I'm going to tell you this too, because I always add comments when I do these things. If you just buy yourself a new computer, your habits will remain the same, and you'll end up buying another new computer unnecessarily because now that computer starts to run slow. Antivirus software is not enough to get the job done. In fact, it has nothing to do with your computer slowing down. But there's a lot of things that can cause this. There's too many tracking cookies and temporary files that will eventually slow your computer down. Unwanted programs loading as a service and on startup will slow your computer down. Your hard drive is going bad will usually slow the computer down before it crashes. And by the way, most of you don't have backups. I have a backup program I wrote myself that actually tries to remove tracking cookies and temporary files to keep your computer running fast. The primary purpose was so the program wouldn't back those up too, because it's a very deep backup. But anyway, let's talk about too many tracking cookies and temporary internet files. Tracking cookies basically read your internet history. So, for example, have you ever noticed that if you're buying airline tickets and searching around, and then pretty soon you start seeing ads on websites for airline tickets? Okay, that's what the tracking cookies are doing. Temporary internet files are little bits of information websites download onto your computer. Have you ever noticed that when you visit a website for a second time, it loads a little faster? That's what the temporary internet files are doing. The website basically looks for information first so it doesn't have to load over the internet, thereby speeding up the process of loading the web page. The slowing down of your computer begins when you get so many temporary internet files and tracking cookies that each time you visit the web page, your computer has to go through every one of these files before it finally loads the page. Okay. Now, the backup program I wrote is the only one I've seen that will, remove temporary internet files and cookies. I think I have this here. It will actually help to remove temporary internet files and cookies before backing up. It's also one of the few backup programs that I've seen that will actually back up your registry files as well too. So don't tell me you've got OneDrive. Don't tell me you've got Google Drive. I'm a big Google Drive fan myself, but that's a sync. You need an off-network backup. If you get a ransomware virus or anything like that, it's going to travel right up into that cloud and damage those files as well too. So you need, sorry about that, where am I here? So you need an offsite backup. I'm going to go over that other one in a minute. Don't worry, not hiding anything from you. Okay. Unwanted programs loading as a service and on startup will slow your computer down. It seems that every program you want to use loads up as a service or on start. If a program loads as a service, that means it's loading before you even log in. If it loads on startup, then it loads as part of your login procedure. Okay, now these programs take up memory, which is RAM, random access memory, which is used to run your apps, videos, and even your operating system, whether it's Windows 10, Windows 11, Apple, or Linux. In Windows, you can stop these programs from loading using msconfig, but make sure you know what you're doing in there so you don't turn off something you need. I can help you with that either remotely or as a house call if you're here on Oahu. Your hard drive going bad will usually slow down your computer before it crashes. Your hard drive is what stores your data and your operating system. When that hard drive crashes, you may lose your work files and photos. That's why I showed you that backup program. You have no idea how often I've gotten those sad puppy dog looks from people telling me that their grandkids' irreplaceable photos are on their hard drive, work files, everything, no pressure, right? But 99% of the time, I'm able to recover work files and photos. But once again, you're really taking a chance by not having an off network backup, like, a flash drive or an external hard drive, and using my program to back everything up with. Once again, there's the URL to my program. I'll leave that in the comments, and I appreciate any comments that you have, by the way. Whoops, there it is again. Not talking about that yet. Okay. That's a service I have. Now, whether I replace your hard drive with an SSD, solid state drive, which speeds things up, or set up a new computer for you, I do always set up Google Drive backup and sync. Okay, and it's called Google Drive Desktop now, and at least it's something, because this will work automatically in the background and store stuff up in the cloud. So computer crashes, God forbid you have a fire, something like that, your files are still safe up there in the cloud. Don't be afraid of the cloud. It's just another computer. In this case, the computer belongs to Google. Now, not enough RAM will slow down your computer. If you begin running programs that use a lot of resources, RAM stands for random access memory. It's different from hard drive memory or storage space. RAM is used to run your programs, videos, which are also run off programs. Your internet browser, such as Google Chrome, is also a program. And RAM even runs your operating system, which is Windows, Apple, or Linux Mint, which is what I use. I use that because it's faster and more secure than Windows is, and I switch some of my computer clients over to Linux Mint. Okay, Rick, so what happens when I don't have enough RAM? The program has to wait for RAM to be freed up. Now, a common example of this is when you're watching a Netflix movie or something like that, and it starts buffering, making those circles. That means that it's waiting for RAM to be freed up. Now, it could be a lot of other things, could be slow internet, stuff like that. But in this instance, we're going to assume that it's RAM. Okay, so there's 3 solutions to not having enough RAM. Okay, remove the programs that automatically load with when your computer starts. This loading also leads to slow load time of the operating system as well. Your operating system, once again, being Windows or Apple or Linux. The other solution is to add more physical RAM chips to your computer if your computer is capable of taking more. Now, most ITs will stop right there because they don't think outside of the box. But the other way to handle lack of RAM is to install a different operating system that doesn't take up as many resources as Windows and Apple. Okay, and that would be Linux Mint. And it actually looks an awful lot like Windows, so it's not a big learning curve or anything like that. Plus, I always install Google Chrome for my computer clients when I install Linux Mint. And they hardly even call me with problems or questions anymore because especially once I get them into Google Chrome, and then everything looks exactly the same as it would if they were in Windows or Apple on Google Chrome. I did have a condo manager that was calling me like every 10 days or so with a problem, and it almost always ended up being Microsoft updates. Now, this was when Windows 11 was starting to come out, still is starting to come out. And, I'm not going to go into my conspiracy theory about bad Microsoft updates and then Windows 11 come out so people want to buy new computers to get rid of the bad updates. No proof of that whatsoever, but think about it. But for my computer client, the final straw was he wasn't able to use his printer because I had a bad Windows update. So finally, I just had it. And I had talked to him before about what I was thinking about doing. So I backed up all of his files and I installed Linux Mint, and I didn't hear from him for a month and a half after that. Talk about talking myself out of business, right? Haha. Anyway, I saved my client a lot of frustration and a lot of money. If you want to install Linux Mint yourself, you can. I've got a link that leads to a place where you can purchase a flash drive. The operating system itself is free. This flash drive costs money, and it has directions on it, but please don't try and do it all yourself just because I say it's free. Okay, read some directions, but mostly contact me for an appointment. Okay, so let me get back to where you can see my wonderful looking face again. By the way, let me talk to you about this before I forget. Okay, there's one piece of software that might help you, and yes, this will give an affiliate link in case you want to support my efforts. But System Mechanic will help to keep your computer clean and optimized. So you can download that from the link that I provided for you in the what do you call that in YouTube? In the description, sorry. But anyway, yeah, so I mean, that is not going to replace having a professional such as myself clean and optimize your computer every 4 months, which is what I do. But this will help to maintain and even fix some of your Windows problems. So yes, this is for Windows only, and that's the URL right there. I'll leave that in the description. But the main thing is have this done. Most people that I talk to, I say, when's the last time you had your computer cleaned and optimized? The answer was almost always never. Sometimes they say, oh, I have antivirus software. No, that's got nothing to do with cleaning temporary internet files and cookies and getting rid of what we call bloatware. Bloatware is like manufacturer software that you don't need loading up, and other programs that don't need to be loading up in the memory itself. There's some other things that I do to speed up computers, but have it done. This will help to make your computer last longer, and it will help to keep your data safe. Okay? Every time a computer crashes and someone calls me and says, hey, my computer crashed, would you try to recover my files? That's a lot harder than just maintaining the computer and making sure that my client has things backed up. Okay, believe it or not, you cannot always recover files. Even if I can recover some files, they may not all be able to be recovered. So make sure you have good backups, and make sure you call me and have me optimize your computer either as a house call or remotely, and let's have that done on a regular basis. So aloha, God bless you, Enjoy your super fast computer.